Hello everyone, I'm Jagdish Chopde. Welcome you all in my channel UI UX Mentor, in which we learn UI UX designing and development. Now from today, we are starting a new series, that is React Training series. Now what exactly is React? As per the official definition, React is the library for building web user interfaces out of individual pieces called components, which are written in JavaScript. So what exactly these components are? So the components are the independent reusable building blocks of a user interface. In layman terms, components are just the web pages or the part of the web pages. Let's understand this with an example. Now let's consider that we are building one application similar to Udemy. Now here, this application will be typically divided into three sections. The first one is navbar, a sidebar, and the main courses section. Now let's consider that we are planning to develop this application by using React library. Now for this, we can create a single component called app component, which will be our main component. And in that, we can include all those navbar, sidebar, and courses content. Or we can create a three different components. One for the navbar, one for the sidebar, and one for all the courses. Now this will boost the separation of concerns. This will ease the debugging and will reduce the maintenance. Now this courses component will again have all the listing of the courses. Now for displaying the list of courses, again we can create another component called course component, which will have a responsibility to display one course listing, and then we will just loop over it to display all the listing of courses. Now this course component will typically display the one course highlights like image of a course, title of a course, instructor name, rating, etc. Now for this rating also, we can create a separate component which we can use at multiple places, like one for this course listing and one in the course details page, which will get navigates once we click on any of the course listing here. Or for the multiple purposes also, like one for showing the course rating and another for showing the instructor rating. Now at this point, if we check, our app hierarchy would be like this. So at the top, we will have this main component called app component, which will include three components: one navbar, courses, and sidebar. Again, the courses component will have internally the course component, and the course component internally will have a rating component to display the rating. Now this was the small introduction about the components and their purposes, and this is why the components are called as the building blocks of the React. Now that was all the theory I have in this course. Now let's get started with our development. We will create a demo application, and through that demo application only, we will explore all the core features of React. Now to start the React development, we need to install Node.js software. And this is the only software we need to install to get started with the React development. Now Node.js is an open source cross-platform JavaScript runtime environment. That means Node.js allows JavaScript to execute outside the browser. And React being the JavaScript based library, that's what we exactly need to execute React in our system. After Node.js, we also would need a code editor. Visual Studio Code is the most popular code editor out there for the React development, and many more. Now, React development is not bound to any code editor. You are free to use any code editor of your choice. And if you are newly get started, Visual Studio Code is the free and most popular option to start with. Now, after installing Visual Studio Code, we can get started with creating a new React application. For that, we have been using create react app command. So if you open create react app.dev, here you will see the typical command to get started with npx create react app and then my app, then the name of our application. This is the command we have been using to creating a new React application. But currently this method is deprecated. So here at the top you can see create react app is deprecated, and you can check out more details about it. And again, if you go on our official site react.dev, there also it is mentioned that if you are creating a new application, then React team is recommending to get started with a framework like Next.js. But here now we want to start a React application from the scratch. So here let's navigate to the build a React from scratch, and there are recommended options to create React application by using the popular build tool like Vite, Parcel or RS Build. Now we will use Vite, which is the most popular build tool right now. And here is the command to create a new React application. Or we can just click on this link here and can navigate to the Vite site vite.dev, and there also you can check out more details about the build tool and their capabilities. And here is the command to get started with the Vite project. Now Vite is the build tool using which we can not only create a React application but lot of other applications too, like React, Vue, Angular, etc. Now we are more interested to create a React application, so let's get started. So I will copy this command. So here let's copy this command npm create Vite at latest, and I will open a terminal. So here I will open this terminal, and before even getting started with this command, you first of all need to check that Node.js is installed on your machine or not. For that the command is node-v. After entering this command, it should return you the version number of Node.js installed on this machine if it is installed. If it is not installed, then it will give an error similar to invalid command or something. Now here version 24 of Node.js is installed on my machine. Now after that, first of all I will navigate to a folder where I want to create a React application. Now here I will navigate to my D drive, and there I already created a folder called React. Now here in this folder I will create a React application. So again I will navigate to the Vite website, and let's paste this command which we copied, npm create Vite at latest. So once you enter this, it will ask you couple of questions. The first one is the name of our project. Now I will be creating a Udemy like demo application, so we can just call it Udemy. Hit enter. After that it will ask you which framework you would like to use for creating this application. Here I will select React. After that it will ask you which variant you want. Out of these I will select JavaScript, and then it will ask you, do you want to install with npm and start now? I will select yes, and after that it will take a minute to get started with your application. And within couple of seconds, it not only created the application but it also started the local development server, and on this URL our application is right now running. So I can just control plus click on this link, and we can see this is our application with some boilerplate UI code is ready, and we can see it is right now hosted on localhost port number 5173 by default. Now after this, let's explore the folder structure of our created application. For that, first of all I will stop this local development server. To stop this process, just use Ctrl plus C, and it will ask you, do you want to terminate this batch job? Type Y and then hit enter. Now I want to open my application folder in Visual Studio Code so that we can explore the folder structure. For that, first of all navigate to our project folder, which is Udemy, and after that just use code space dot. So it will open the current folder, current directory in Visual Studio Code, like this. Now here in package.json file, we can see configuration and details of our project. Here in the dependencies, we can see two libraries got installed as a part of creating our project. First one is React and another one is React DOM. These are the only two libraries we require in the development of any React application. Now here along with that, there are the scripts available. These are the commands which we can use to perform different apps. For example, to start the development server, dev is the command. Now suppose I want to start this application. For that, we can open a terminal, click in the terminal menu, click on new terminal option, and here at the bottom it will not only open the terminal but it will automatically navigate to our current folder path. Now here to start our app, or in other words to run our local development server, dev is the command. So how to execute this command? For that we can use npm run and then the name of the command, that is dev. Just hit enter and it will open our application on this path. Again, I will use control plus click to open this application, and we will see our same application is opened on the same URL, localhost port number 5173. And let me get this side by side to our code. Now here there is this default boilerplate code added for us. Now I want to get rid of all this boilerplate code and let's start with fresh. But before that, here if we just read this content, to get started it is saying just edit src app.jsx and save to test HMR. HMR means hot module replacement. That means if any changes we are doing in our project and just saving the files, it will automatically get picked up by our development server and we can quickly see those changes right here. Let's try this out. So here in the source folder, I will open this app.jsx and you will see this is the code which is responsible for creating this boilerplate code. Here I will simply just search for get started, and here we have this h1 which is responsible for having this header tag. Now here I will just replace this with React Training, and once I save this by using Control S or Command S, you will see quickly the changes are getting reflected here in the running server. Now here I will quickly clean this application. So here this is our main app component and it is returning this HTML looking like code, which is not exactly HTML but it is a JSX. JSX means JavaScript XML. That means on a visual side it will just look like HTML, but internally all these tags get converted into respective JavaScript and this whole file gets converted into total JavaScript code. We will explore the JSX in more details in upcoming sessions, but as of now I will just delete this whole HTML code and we'll just add a simple div here, and inside that let's add one h1 saying React Training. Along with that I will add one paragraph and some lorem text. Along with that I will remove all the code here which is causing errors, and here I can see a couple of logos also added here which are there in the assets folder. So I will open the asset folder and from here I will delete all these logos which I don't need it. And along with the same I will delete all these statements which is giving errors. I'll keep this import statement which is just importing this app.css file, and here if we open this app.css, here also you will see lot of boilerplate CSS code, which I do not want definitely, because I want to start with fresh. So I will delete whole thing and just save everything. And here you will see our this heading and this paragraph is appearing. But again, if we are seeing, there is still some customized styling is available. Now that is coming from our index.css. Now here in our whole application, main.jsx is the starting file which gets triggered once our application starts executing. And here we can see this is the line from where the app component triggers. That means from this file we can set our starting component, which by default is set to app component. And here in this same file we can see index.jss is got imported. Now if you open index.css, we can see there is also still some CSS configurations are available. I will again select everything and delete it, and now save this file, and you will see everything is got to default HTML styling. But definitely I did not like this serif font. So what I will do, I will just override this default font and background color. So here in my global index.css file, I'll just override the body, and there I will provide font family, and for that I will select this Cijo UI font. Save this and you will see the font got reflected here. Along with the same, I will also update the background color to something matching to our theme. Now here blue violet is the theme color I will be using, which is looking like this, but definitely this will be my accent color. And for the background color, I just need a very light color in the same color family, something like this, which we can update later on if we are not happy with the same. But as of now, I'll just keep it as it is. And in the next lecture, we will start creating our user defined component, our own.